FlossTube. Welcome back to my channel. This is video number 2, and I'm going to be showing you a variety of things related to cross stitch and sewing. So if you're interested in both of those things, please hang around and see what I've got to show you. And before we get started with that, I do want to do a little bit of housekeeping in that I want to thank all of you who left such kind messages on my first video. That was just fantastic. I was overwhelmed by the responses. You're so very kind, and I'm so happy to be part of this community. It's an incredible group of people, I'll tell you. It's just amazing. So I'm so happy that I'm here and that I found you. So let's get started looking at all the projects. So I've been very focused on working on 2 pieces as far as my whips. This is one of them. It's Winter Cometh by Summer House. And I worked on this, I showed this in my first video, and I had just started it. And I've been working on it pretty regularly, and this is where I've gotten. This is done on Oaken 36 count, 1/2. The stitch count on this is 118 by 88, so 118 by 88. And its approximate size will be about 6.5 by 5 when I'm through with it. This was a kit that I got from Country Sampler. And so the threads are Weeks and Gentle Arts combined. And this is a super fun stitch. I am having a ball working on this. I love the way that it gradiates here across. And I'm about halfway done now, so I can't wait to continue to work on this. But I got a little distracted by my next whip. And this one was also part of a haul. It's called Quaker by Marjorie Massey, and I've had my eye on this for a while. I've wanted to do it. It's just beautiful. So I started it. I've actually have 2 starts on this. I started it in what was going to be a red, and that's because I didn't want Brenda and the serial starter Laura to throw me in jail, because it is a federal law that you're supposed to have a red piece going at all times, and I didn't have one. But it looked too purple, and I really loved the blue, so I went ahead and did this, and I pulled it out and started with the blue. And this is just a DMC thread. This is on Lakeside Vintage Pearl Barley, 36 count, 1/2, and this is going to be a rather large one. It's 298 by 162, which equates to about 6.5 by 9 when it's all finished. I am using DMC 3799, and I love just the kind of, it just looks comfortable to me, kind of warm. And so this one I've been working quite a bit on. Like I said, this was a new start. I got the pattern about 2 weeks ago, so you can see what I've been focusing on. And I'm really thrilled with how that's turning out. So those are my whips. Let me show you some of the new pieces I got. This is from Little House Needleworks called Hope. It's just a little, well, I guess it could be a pincushion or a pillow. And I'm going to make it into a pillow, I believe. I just think it's so, excuse me, so cute. These are the threads called for DMC. I think it's going to be really pretty. I don't have the material yet for what I'm going to do on that. And then Redbird Sampler, again, hearkening back to Brenda and Laura. I have to have a red one now that I don't have one, so I picked this one up. And this is by Heart and Hand, Redbird Sampler. And I'm going to do this on Weeks Dye Works linen, 32 count. And I'm going to use this red. And I think it's going to be just beautiful. I can't wait to start this, but I'm not going to start it quite yet. So again, Redbird Sampler. I got this from Country Sampler. It's a kit. A Merry Christmas sampler from La Di Da, and all of the threads and the fabric and the linen are in here. It's really pretty. It's going to be really prim looking. I love that. The next two samplers I'm going to show you, the pictures do not do them justice at all. This is a Threads of Gold Dorothy Snowball 1814. And I saw this stitched and it is gorgeous, just gorgeous. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see it. It is stunning. Oh, I wish the picture did it justice. But I don't have the linen yet, but these are the threads, the thread colors. I'm just using DMC. I'm a DMC kind of gal. I really like DMC. I do use Weeks and Gentle Arts. I've never used silks, but if it calls for DMC and I like the colors, I'll generally use it. So anyway, these are the called fors, and again, Threads of Gold, Dorothy Snowball 1814. Oh, I can't wait to start this one because it's going to be beautiful. And then this is another one, Sheepish Antiques, Selena Dunwoody. And again, I saw this one stitched, and it was beautiful as well. Now, I do have this, I have the threads pulled. They're DMCs, and let me put it on the back here in the white. And so these are the colors. The only thing, I have two blues here. One of them's called for, the other one is not, and I'm going to try them both. They seem really bright, and these are for these go on the roof. And so, let me show you, they go right in here. So I'm not sure how that's going to look. I guess it's right there and there too. It might be fine. So anyway, we'll see what happens with those blues. The rest of the colors are beautiful. But this is another one I can't wait to start because it's going to be gorgeous. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to show you was I have a hard time remembering all those particulars about what I'm working on, the thread count, the stitch count, what kind of fabric or linen I'm using, etc. So I created this book, and it's just a traveler's notebook size. And on my other channel, I like to make little journals for sure, but I also like to do quirky covers and things like that. So I put this together, just a simple pamphlet stitch, and then on the inside I created this document here that basically has the pattern and the fabric and all the particulars that I want to remember. And then that little printer that I showed you in my last video, I think I showed it to you, I'm not sure, I might have done it on my other channel, but this is, let me show you. This is a Canon Ivy, and it prints out these little photos, and I love it. I use it in my journaling. And so I wanted to keep track of what they look like, because sometimes you give away your projects and you forget, like this goat pillow. So I put all the information, the finished details, and just notes and things that I want to remember. And so I've been keeping track of this as I go along, and it makes it so much easier when I'm trying to look up something and remember when did I start it, because I have a start and complete date, etc. So anyway, whenever I get anything, even if I haven't started it yet, and I know I'm going to start it, then I put it in here. So here's the Quaker Street. So you see I started this in January. I don't get specific about the date, but just the year. So that's a fun little addition that's helping to keep me organized. I also made 3 project bags. This is one of them, and this was really fun to make. I love making these project bags because you can just go crazy with them. So that's one, and then this is another one that I worked on, created, and then this one. So they all have something in them, which is the whole point of making the project bags. So that's really fun. So now I'm going to move on to the sewing portion. So if you aren't interested in quilting or sewing, you may just want to sign off here. But I do have some things I want to share with you, and so we'll look at those now. So this is a knitting bag that I made. My sister has recently started knitting again, and I wanted to make her a bag, something that she can use to put her yarn in. And so I made this. It's got pockets, 3 pockets on the front and 3 on the back, and then it's nice and big inside. It's got a lot of room in there for all of her yarn. I made her a little one, which I'll put the picture in here. I don't have it any longer. And it's great for just like on the go with one skein, but this is really more for if you have, you know, a lot of yarn. And this was fast and fun to make. So what did I do? I made another one. And so here's that one. Again, it's got the 3 pockets on the front and 3 on the back. And then on the inside, again, it's just nice and big. And I've thought about putting some pockets inside, but really having the 6 on the outside is probably sufficient. So that was really fun. And then I got this pattern for this bag, Baker Street bag. And this was actually a free download and from So Sweetness. And it's a great pattern. It's very easy to follow, and there's also a video on YouTube. And so I made this bag. I wasn't sure how this was going to turn out, but it's really turned out to be very cute. There's 2 pockets on the inside, and then it has this hidden zipper. No, not a hidden zipper, but a kind of a flange zipper that just stays down in there, which is nice. It's a really nice size. I love the shape of it, which is what I was really looking for. And it wasn't hard to make at all either. So this was really fun and easy to make. And especially when you follow the video, she does a good job at explaining everything. The only problem I had was when I was pressing, I melted my zipper. I forgot that this was a plastic zipper, and I melted it a little bit here. Fortunately, it still zips, and my iron was not damaged in the process. So that's good news. Okay, so this is a little hard to show you because of the size of it. I threw it on the kitchen island so you could get a look at it. But there are pine trees all around the edge, and then the different houses and stars, and you can see the pine trees there, and then they go all the way around that other edge. I made this back in, I think, about 1985, and the fabrics have really faded, especially like this. I can't get my hand in here. Like this right here has faded really something terrible. But it doesn't matter. I still love this quilt. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoyed all of the projects. And if you have any questions, please just ask them down below. I will link many of the things that I mentioned in this video down in the description box, so be sure to check that. Okay, well that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.